Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So oh, okay. Oh, yes.
All right, good evening, everyone. We're going to go ahead and call this meeting of the Joint Liquor, Cannabis, and Tobacco Commission meeting. Time is 6:04. Please call the roll.
Commissioner Booker,
Here.
Commissioner Moore,
Here.
Commissioner Brown Nelson, here. Commissioner Reyes Plummer, here. Commissioner Smith.
Commissioner Smith is vacated en route from work on her phone. All right, there's no approval of minutes, so we'll go into public comment. So we'll go into the opening and there's a presentation for everything in regards to the tobacco closures. So I think probably would everybody prefer if I do the presentation first? Then if anybody wants to make public comment, you can make public comment, or would anybody like to make public comment right now? So don't flip it? All right, so I'll do the presentation first. And if there's public comment to be made, we'll make public comment. All right, so everyone is fully aware of the closures that took place on January 2nd in regards to January 5th, in regards to 7 different locations. So those locations sold tobacco product to minors underage, which is illegal in the state of Illinois. So just remind everyone of the tobacco harms. Public health authorities stress that tobacco and vaping products pose serious harms, and especially to our youth. Nicotine exposure during adolescence can lead to addiction and changes in the brain development, affecting attention, memory, and learning. Flavoring and marketing have been played a big role in the uptake. 85% of e-cigarette users ages 12 to 17 report using flavored tobacco, which is a key driver of youth initiation. Tobacco use smoking remains among the leading preventable causes of disease and death nationally, causing cancer, heart disease, stroke, and respiratory diseases and more. So with that understanding, there was a sting operation that took place following some different illegal sales that took place within the village of Maywood. 13 locations were sting operated in partnership with the county and our investigations unit within the village of Maywood, and 7 of those locations actually sold tobacco to an underage individual. So empowering the suspension and revocation action, as village president, the role was to acknowledge that there is a clear and present danger to public health and the safety and general welfare. So I administer authority to summarize closing their businesses of the premises, and then we gave notice that there will be a hearing within the next 10 days according to our hearings. Prior to the hearing date, there is a pre-hearing meeting where at that time they can plead guilty or acknowledge that there are fees and fines to be assessed without going through an actual hearing process. So without going through the actual hearing process, Each of the 7 individuals actually did acknowledge that they did sell to underage minors, and they were accepting of their closures, and they were accepting of the fines that we assessed for them. So we're going to go through each different one, and they'll have a moment to be able to speak to the public. So the first thing to acknowledge, we are not having a public hearing today because we had individual meetings legally with each one of the individuals that got caught. All of them are still not selling tobacco right now. We got fines from each of the individuals to total, the minimum amount is $4,000, highest amount is $15,000 in fines, which totals $41,000 in total. And then the minimum amount of closure is the 13 days, highest amount is 30 days. So thinking of cumulative 120 days. So for those that are wondering, like, it could have been harsher, realistically, these are each one of these individuals' first-time offenses. So it's not like we could shut them down permanently because it is a documented first-time offense. I know a lot of times people say, we see them selling all the time. This is the first documented offense that they had. So realistically, what we're looking to do with that $41,000 is initiating the DARE program in our elementary, middle, and high schools. So we have 2 of our police officers that will be going to drug abuse resistance education training in February. And we have 2 of our other police officers that will be going to the training in June. And they will start the DARE program. We're looking to launch that in the fall when school starts back. So we'll have 4 different officers working with our elementary schools, our middle schools, and our high schools. Within that training and their partnership, just to go over, they'll be going through the training of DARE University. So DARE University, it's an online trusted source, but their certification as the first part is a 2-week training that they go away from the village of Maywood to. So they're in person at a 2-week training that they all 4 will go through. Once they finish that training, then there's the online tools that they'll be able to use throughout the year for our youth. We also will have a youth advisory board for focus on advocacy for drug resistance and intervention as a part of the DARE program. And then we also will have a community advocacy board that focuses on DARE and tobacco misuse and abuse within the village. Other partnerships that will be coming on with the DARE program is Catch My Breath, which is youth e-cigarette prevention program that focuses on ages 10 to 12, so middle school and high school students. We also have the programs for youth intervention and prevention. And this program is for middle school and high school students as well. So Project Alert with adolescents learning experiences and resistance training. Along with that, the remaining money will also be used for truth intervention as a digital curriculum. So there's curriculum that will be utilized by the DARE officers and the police officers for elementary, middle school, and high schools. So that's the intent of when we collect all these $41,000 in fees, and when we are consistently thinking about, today we're later be talking about increasing just overall registration fees and things like that, those funds will go towards programming for our elementary, middle school, and high school students. So with that being said, first store that was closed was VIP Wireless. So we gave them a $4,000 fine and a 21-day store closure. They received a 21-day store closure because they did not have a tobacco license to sell at all. So their store is set to reopen on January 23rd to be able to sell regular product because they actually don't have a liquor license. But if VIP Wireless would like to speak to the public, can we get a mic?
Just one.
Yeah.
Hello everybody, my name's Sam, from the VIP Wireless. I don't sell tobacco. This was a mistake. No. Wait, you want to go?
No, Mike, you're talking.
Oh, okay, it's okay. I don't sell tobacco. This was a mistake. I'm here to take accountability and move forward with it.
Do any of the commissioners have any questions for VIP Wireless?
So if you don't
sell tobacco? How did you get tobacco and why was it so
It
accessible
was our
to you?
personal use, and
So you're
I kind of
selling
got, it
little
was,
cigarettes?
I'm sorry?
You're selling
It
little
was
cigarettes?
vape.
No, it was a
Oh, it's
vape.
vapes. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, it was for my personal use, it was only, I had 8 vapes. I wasn't focused. There was a slip up, and we're not doing that. And even when the police came, there was none on display.
Correct.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Greed was the motivation. Okay.
All right, thank you. All right, yeah, the next one, mobile gas. So again, first time offender, 13-day suspension. They will resume tobacco sales January 15th.
Hi, my name is Jim Siddiqui. I'm the mobile gas. We've been in a Maywood for last 30 years. We never have any ticket. That's the first time employee of mine, new employee, matter of fact, and he was under training and he sold the underage the customers. We never have any kind of ticket or any kind of problem with doing it. And I'm sorry this happened, but I'm sure it will never happen again.
Does any one of the commissioners have a question for mobile gas?
Yeah, go ahead.
So my main question is, our license renewed January 1st. So since from January 1st to January 9th, there was a decision made. So I would assume that this wasn't a one-off, that this may have happened before, this is the first time it was caught. So you got caught, what is the new process now?
We make sure all the employee is trained.
So you didn't do that before?
We did, but
Okay.
the new person who we training, he's not supposed to sell the tobacco because the co-worker is training him. And he jumped in and he sold without checking the ID. But he's punished, he is not working right for the next 2 weeks. But we never, not even caught, we never have any kind of ticket. We don't sell to the minor.
So you never had a ticket, and like, as she mentioned, is it because of our own negligence, or it's just because of?
Because we check ID.
And then you're closed for the next 2 weeks, so nobody's working for the next 2 weeks.
But the gas
Correct.
station is open,
Gas
the retail
station
is
is
open, the tobacco sale is closed.
Okay, so that's his punishment, is that he's not working.
Yes, we,
And whose punishment is this? Is this the trainers, or is this the actual employee?
the both
that-
of them.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Siddiqui. All right. Next, we have the Shell gas station on 17th and Harrison. They received a $4,000 fine and a 14-day suspension. So their tobacco sales will resume January 16th.
Hello, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Sean Cadelimentum. My family has owned the 1701 Harrison Street Shell gas station for about 30 years now. First and foremost, I want to sincerely apologize to the village of Maywood for what occurred. It was never our intention to sell underage tobacco at all. We have taken preventive measures to ensure that something like this doesn't happen again. One being that we have put signs by our cash registers as well as by the tobacco products that say, please check ID prior to touching tobacco products. Secondly, we have set up monthly employee training to ensure that they understand the importance of selling tobacco products to underage individuals. Lastly, we have set up employee evaluation for the individual that has sold the tobacco product to an underage individual. That employee has actually been working with us for over 10 to 15 years now. And previously we've never actually had this offense. This is our first documented offense. And to my knowledge, I'm only 28 and we've owned it for about 30 years. I don't think we've had this offense in the past. So, you know, given that he has been working with us for 10 years, he is on a temporary leave, and he is going through additional employee training to ensure that this doesn't happen again. Like I said, it was never our intention for this to happen. The youth of Maywood is what's most important. Youth of any village is what's most important. And to ensure that the future of any village goes forward, it won't happen without the youth. And you know, this will never happen again. We've set places to ensure that this doesn't. And like I said, I sincerely apologize for this. This is never.
I like what you said, that you're gonna have monthly training. So my assumption would be is when code enforcement comes out, let's say in July, we would be able to see all the signatures from January, February, March, April, May, June, July
Yep.
on a clipboard.
Okay.
And all we have to do is go to it, pull it, and see.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Yeah, more than happy to do that.
You can, I think we should, across the board, yeah. I don't think you should be the only one doing this much work to prevent this from happening again.
Yeah, like I said, like all of our employees that have worked at our station, they're grandfathered in our station, right? They've been working there for 10 to 15 years, so it's not like we needed to do monthly training to ensure this doesn't happen. This was a slip up. You know, unfortunately, our employee did check the ID, he just didn't check the date, right? And it was a one-time thing. I don't know if he was having stress at home or stress at the station, but like I said, we're gonna make sure that this doesn't happen again.
Some places have it that you have to type in the date before you can even
Correct.
sell.
Correct. Yeah, so I'm working on getting a scanning system so
Okay.
that you can scan the ID as well. So that, you know, when anyone comes in, all you gotta do is boom, you scan it, you see the ID, you see the age, and it's a one-stop deal. You know, you gotta really check it. Because most people are not good at mental math, me personally, right? So.
I was gonna say that, I was gonna say, you know, simple math can mess anybody.
Yeah.
But, if you can give, like, even a cheat sheet.
Yeah.
You know, I've been to places where they have a little cheat sheet.
Yeah.
And, it'll say that before this date, or year,
Yeah.
they have to do a certain.
And so on our signs, we've actually put, I'm working on a digital sign, but, you know, we manually put it. But like I said, it was a simple slip up, and I promise this will not happen again.
Thank you. All right. Next is Super Save Gas. They received a $5,000 fine and a 14-day suspension. So the tobacco sales will resume on January 16th.
Good evening, my name is Maywood of Raman. I am the owner of Super Safe Gas and the manager. Very similar to the Shell gas station, we also have owned the station, I want to say documented 16 years we've been in the store. The employee that did sell tobacco, also a very new employee, but very similarly did also check the ID, but slipped up on the date. After I seen the timestamp, I reviewed the camera just to see what happened. If it was a reoccurring situation, if it was a one-off situation. In a good way, he did ask for the ID, but when the ID came, he looked at it, he studied it, read the date, and I guess just the math didn't click. Which is okay, I mean, we're here to take accountability, you know. So we actually, very similar to what you guys were asking about the scanning system, I already ordered mine in, so that way we'd be able to start typing dates in for all tobacco products sold from our store. Very similarly, we've never been documented for a problem like this, especially being right across the street from the high school. I'm very strict on selling tobacco products to minors. I always say the $1.25 sale, the $1.50 sale, whatever it is not worth, you know, going through closure, going through a ticket, going through a bad reputation for the community. So we do apologize. It's not something that, you know, we want to make a habit of or we want to be known for. We try to be very serious and very strict with everybody. I do like the monthly thing of writing the names down on the board, so I can start doing that. You know, I work in 3 different gas stations, so I'm very, very strict with selling and checking IDs and everything. You know, it was not a situation that should have happened. Unfortunately, it was a new employee. He looked at the ID. Just so happens it was a mistake. Honestly, he apologized for it. You know, we're going through something right now. We're trying to talk. We're trying to go through better training. to ensure it doesn't happen again. But, you know, we do sincerely apologize. We don't want to have a reputation for this. We don't want, especially being that close to the high school and the us, we don't want to be known as a store that allows minors to come in and that will sell them anything. We're pretty strict with it. We really don't care about the tobacco sale just to make a minor happy. It doesn't really benefit us. I'm usually on the register a lot too in the morning, so, you know, I'm very strict with it, but, you know, it's on us at the end of the day, and we're gonna, you know, train our employees a little better to ensure that this doesn't happen anymore and that it doesn't become, you know, a consistent habit. You know, we do sincerely apologize about, you know, we're never really in this situation again.
I have a question. This one's towards the village. Why does he fine 5,000 and everyone else 4?
The proximity to the school.
Okay, that was my question.
School,
For the school. And I'm going to be honest, I feel like you should have been fined more because of the proximity to the school. Because this is the first time you got caught, right? And not necessarily this is the first time that this happened. And I apologize for even, you know, saying that, but at the same token, you have to see where we're coming from, right? Technically, and I'm gonna be honest, when we first addressed this, as she mentioned at the beginning of the year, I went to bat for you guys. And I said, it's coming from home, you guys need to check your house, you guys need to do all that, and then we're here. Why? It's, you know what I'm saying, it's silly. And I can't go to bat for you, I have a teenager. I can't go to bat for you and they're across the street, and they're able to go across the street to you and buy whatever they want. I can't do that.
I 100% agree with you, and I've owned up to this, the same thing when we met with the village. You know, just so happens that the only time that I am not in the store, being able to control and look after everybody, that's a Friday when I'm here. You know what I mean? So, like the village told me, like, you know, I had a recommendation that said, you know, when you're in prayer, your best situation would be to put your best employee here at the time. And, you know, if it was that easy, I promise I won't. You know, it's scheduling conflicts have been hard recently. But at the end of the day, I'm not here to give you these excuses. I'm here to take accountability. You know, which is why when the village set a $5,000 fine, I didn't flinch. Me and my father that were here, we both said no problem. And then, you know, as the mayor addressed, that would be going to the program. We said, you know, it's not a problem with us at all. You know, like we take whatever we get. You know, we slap it on us. You know, we accept whatever the consequences. It's not a problem. We're not here to deny what happened or make excuses for it. You know, at the end of the day, we're here to own up to it and ensure that we're not in this situation again. You know, if that means we need to train our employees better, at the end of the day, it falls on me. So I'm here to take, that's why I'm here. That's why I told my father was sick with the flu right now. So, you know, I got it. Let me take the accountability. I'm going to this work every day. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Well, I do apologize.
Thank you.
I have one more question. How long has your family owned?
16 years.
16 years. I know for a fact that this isn't your first offense. You've been caught before. I've also warned you guys last year, year before that, and the year before that. You still have students in the back of your store vaping, smoking.
Inside the store?
In the back of your store.
Behind the store.
Yeah. Behind it. Every morning. I'm there every morning. And that's exactly what's going on. I've mentioned it to the renewal. You sent your manager here?
I'm the manager.
No, there was a female that stood up for you guys. A black
Wow.
lady. We warned her as well.
Wow.
And it's continuing to still happen. So I'm with the other commissioner. I wish we were able to give you guys a bigger fine. This is not the first time, I guarantee it. That's the VP of Marketing. Okay.
Come off that break.
But if there is, like you said, if there's kids out there every morning, I mean, I'm there every day. I mean, that's my blue tussle right there.
Come off that
So I'm there every morning, so I'll personally start
Send one of your employees and just check the back of the store. This happens before school starts and after school.
After school, I'll tell whatever employees there, I'm already gone by then. By the time it hits after school, I have a store I have to go to, food, school, I'll be there every morning to see what's going on. I mean, I've never seen it. They have cameras behind there, but even if the kids are going there, You know, again, not to make an excuse, I promise you, the last intention I had is to make excuses for it. You know, there's 1,000 cars in that early morning rush, and I have to be in the store because we have 100 kids inside the store too. You know what I mean? A lot of them steal, a lot of them, you know, play around, which is okay. You know, we come out there and anybody, we talk to them, we tell them, like, hey, we're just here to help you guys. You know, we have kids that stay inside the store because we're too poor. You know what I mean? We tell them, go back, it's not a problem. You know, so I'll start checking, I'll do a better job making sure nobody's not smoking. You know what I mean? I apologize, you know, the way the property is, it's a big circle, so it's really hard to look at every single part of the property. But I do apologize.
Thank you.
Next, we have Maywood Express. So Maywood Express has a $4,000 fine, 14-day suspension, and then the tobacco sales resume on the 16th.
$4,000 fine, and they
Right, they need
a
to
block and a half away from the school.
not only that, they've been,
They've been talking.
So they've been called like, for help.
Oh,
For
is
help.
there someone here for them?
They've been called with like health sales. So we can't find them for the health sales because of tobacco. They've been caught with counterfeit merchandise, which we've already
Yes.
pushed up to the state, which is actually a felony.
yeah,
So that's a state issue that's actually being dealt with right now.
okay.
So with them, that goes, the counterfeit sales that they have go to the state for felony review. The fees and fines that they get in regards to just not keeping a clean space have already been assessed as well. And then just the sales that they have that they don't have a license for, they have as well, fees in regards to that. And then the Cook County Health Department has assessed other fees for them. So
when
we're
do we-
specifically talking about the tobacco, but collectively, those are all different fees, fines, and notices.
Right, so when do we say as a village at this point that enough is enough? And, I mean, that's pretty much bottom line of it.
So right now, specifically with this location, there's some other legal things that we're looking into that we can do
Okay,
to rectify the location in general.
okay.
The only thing we could deal with at the pre-hearing was the ticket for the selling to the minor. Everything else is another legal matter, and another notice, and another fee, and another fine.
I have a question. If these business owners came to accept accountability and this person didn't, I think they should be given more time until they're able to come in and accept accountability in front of their peers as these business owners did. I think that's only fair.
So the request for accountability was literally just from me as a faith like sign of goodwill. It's not a legal requirement that they come to
Okay.
this meeting. So they were present with their attorney at their pre-hearing meeting. They gave them the same fee and fine pretty much as everyone else. But the other aspects of this specific
Okay.
location,
We have other things pending.
there are other things
Understand.
pending, specifically for this location. All right, we have One Stop. One Stop received a $5,000 fine and a 30-day suspension, simply because even though they don't sell to, they haven't been caught selling to a minor within the last like 12 to 24 months. It has been caught before, and there are other infractions. So their suspension is heavier and their fine is $5,000, with all things considered of One Stop.
First, I want to apologize for what happened. I have 4 cashiers at the store. So what I did, I put a camera in the top of every cash register. I put a camera on the top, and every day I'm going to review the camera to see if this cashier is doing the right business, the right thing they're supposed to do or not. If they're not, unfortunately, they're going to lose their job.
All right. Does anybody have any?
Apologize for the mistake my cashier did.
Go ahead, go.
So, last year, we had a few discrepancies with this location. Last year. We had a few discrepancies last year with this location. So, you were fine because you were caught. From your own statement, what you just said to me was, we're gonna have cameras and we're gonna watch. That does not, that's not being accountable.
No, I'm not watching what they do during the day. They do the right thing, they ask for ID, the stuff a cashier is supposed to do.
So you're saying we can come back in 2 weeks and basically find you another $5,000 and give you another 30 days? Because if they weren't trained before, now you're saying you're gonna retrain
We're
them.
supposed to be training already,
Okay.
but unfortunately sometimes they're not doing their job. And that's what I said, do your job or you lose your job. That's it. You know, that's what I told them. So I really, poor cashiers, they've been with me for a long time. They not hire after they're there. All of them been with me for over 10 years. And unfortunately, the thing happened.
Go ahead.
So they've been with you for 10 years, so
I
why,
think they will.
they've been with you for 10 years, they've been, this way.
Okay.
They've been with you for 10 years. So this is the first offense that has happened. This is the first we've caught.
That's the first one for selling cigarettes to minors.
First one we caught, right? Okay. So for that instance, I truly feel, and I'm just gonna be honest, if it's more than one offense, and we know this, right? Because, I mean, this isn't the first time we've had this conversation with you, not just on tobacco, but in general. Your fine should be more, because you're not learning. You're not, that $5,000 fine is not phasing you at all. It's not. And I feel like we keep giving you, just like the other person, chance after chance after chance.
Maybe that's the last chance and we're gonna do the right thing from now on. Everybody deserves a chance. Maybe that's our chance, that's it.
Yeah, hopefully.
What she trying to say, you running out.
Yeah.
You running out.
Yeah,
This is it for me. I mean, I'm gonna just be honest, I can't make the call, but it, you know, for me, as I mentioned, I am a resident, obviously, of Maywood. I'm a mother of Maywood, in Maywood. You know, I would like to see a change. I can't see a change if you're not making a change. For people that's been with you for 10 years, they don't know not to sell to minors. Like, that's crazy to me. That's crazy that you're even up here saying that. Because now if they were new and, you know,
Yeah, that
18,
bothers me
21,
too.
however.
They not new and they do this mistake. Yeah, it bothers me too, you know.
I would like
And I
to
was shocked when
see
it happened, for real, I was shocked when it
your
happened.
training documented moving forward. I would like to see all your training documented moving forward. You have a sign-in sheet for each employee and yourself saying we did training on this date, it was this long with this company, and everyone signed it. From when you reopen, moving forward. So we should be able to come in whenever there's an inspection, go to this clipboard and look at the training. Because then you can't have an excuse after that.
That's good.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
All right, LA Smokes is the next one. So LA Smokes received a $15,000 fine, and they received a 14-day suspension.
Good evening, members of the village board, village officials, and members of the community. I want to begin by sincerely apologizing to the village of Maywood, its residents, and the board of and this board for the situation that has brought us here today. We take the issue of selling to minors extremely seriously, and it was never our intention to violate the law of or the trust placed in us as a licensed business operating in this village. From the moment we became aware of the violation, we took immediate steps to address it. The employee responsible for the incident is no longer employed with our business. In addition, we reviewed and strengthened our internal procedures. Retrained staff, reinforced strict ID verification policies, and made it clear that compliance with age restricted sales laws is non-negotiable. We value our presence in Maywood, we respect its law, and we are committed to being a responsible business partner with this community. We respectfully ask the village to consider the corrective actions we have already taken. Our cooperation throughout this process and our commitment to ensuring this does not happen again. Thank you for your time, your consideration, and the opportunity to address this matter.
Any questions from Commissioner Felix's place? I'm sorry, LA Smokes?
Yeah, well, I'd like to see your procedures as well. What procedures have you enhanced?
We added all the 21 plus signs in the store. We scanned the IDs to any sale coming in the store. Check IDs strictly. And just being aware of the situation.
So shouldn't we check IDs? And I'm just gonna be honest, I mean,
IDs every time, it has to be checked.
before even entering the store, like, soon as they enter, they should have no reason to be in there if they're under whatever the smoking age, I don't even know what the smoking age is, I'm sorry. But,
21.
thank you. So, if it's 21, they shouldn't even be in there
We
because
sell
they have.
grocery too.
What?
Yeah.
You a grocery store?
The ghetto.
You do not sell groceries.
You cannot sell groceries.
You are,
There's no way.
you are, okay, so there's only 2 licenses in the village of Maywood, that's a smoke shop. You guys are a smoke shop. If you sell chips and extra things, you do that as a
That's not
retailer,
grocery.
but you are listed as one of the only 2 smoke shops in there.
Oh, okay. Well, because we got the restaurant next door, we're going to buy bread and chips. But checking ID is like forced.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that because you are only a smoke shop, it should only be selling smoke, tobacco products, whatever they are, they should not be in your store without proper ID to begin with.
I think what she's saying is that even though you all sell chips,
Mm-hmm.
because your main item is over 21,
Yeah,
no one
licensed.
should,
Yeah, you're licensed.
Like, so realistically,
no one should be in
like your
there that's
license
under
is a
21.
21 year and older.
That's what you're
established.
Yeah.
So a 12-year-old should not be able to come in and buy a bag of chips.
Right.
If a 23-year-old is buying a vape and get a bag of chips, that's one thing. Your license is specifically as a smoke shop.
21 plus.
So a 12-year-old should not be able to come into your store at all.
At all.
18, 19, right.
Yeah. Anybody under 21 should not, that's just me.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I look at it. I wouldn't, and I'm just gonna be honest, I wouldn't take my kid into a liquor store to go buy alcohol, whether it's for me or somebody else. It's just not gonna be me. But, yeah, I follow the same rules if it was a tobacco shop. I mean, that's what you specialize in, that's what.
The rules got to be
Yeah.
enforced.
I think that the reality is we have the ordinance to only allow 2 smoke shops.
Yeah.
You are one of the
Yeah.
2. A child should not be able to walk into your store to get in there.
And I'm absolutely okay with this fine as well, to be honest. Probably one of the better ones that I've seen.
It should be more.
I agree, but
It should be more, and I
the
don't
cap
think.
is
Oh,
4 to
we don't get the
15.
public comment.
Sorry. Yeah, I agree, but the cap is 15, so.
All right.
No.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so before we get to Lacey's place, because their thing is not tobacco, I'm gonna open it to public comment for those who wanted to.
Mayor, I have just
So,
one question.
go ahead.
The Maywood Express Mart, no one showed?
Maywood Express Mart is the only establishment that did not carry a show.
Okay. Just wanted to make that clear.
So, again, really just highlighting and showcasing, the Village of Maywood definitely has a zero tolerance policy when it comes to selling to minors. The toxicity of businesses selling to minors is problematic because as much as the Village of Maywood shows up as a good business partner, literally every last one of these guys I know, I've met, I've talked to, I've had conversations with. So it's not that I believe any of them are bad people. I just think people get away with what they can get away with. I think that people get too busy, and sometimes they get too busy to function, and don't realize the detriment that they're causing not only to the business, but to the community as a whole. When we look at, we now have 4th graders, 5th graders, 6th graders showing up to school high. And we look at 7 out of 13 locations selling tobacco to minors. To Commissioner Reyes-Palmer's point, last year this time we were having this conversation about harsher laws, harsher rules, harsher regulation. It was the conversation of we have to hold the parents as accountable as we're holding the businesses accountable. But we can't hold the parents accountable to 7 out of 13 stores selling to underage minors, right? So we need to make sure that everybody is doing their part. And as we look and talk about the fees and fines, and as we look and talk about updating our ordinances and our policies of what to the maximum extent of the law that we can do, they are going to become more hefty because this is just ridiculous. When we're thinking about behavioral health, mental health, cognitive disorders of our youth, these are things that add to it. So with that said, if does any one of the commissioners have anything to say before I open it up to public comment? Okay. So for anybody who wants to come and speak on behalf of public comment, you don't have to sign up. You can just come up and just provide your name and your comment. If anybody wanted to say anything.
You said we don't have to come up?
You could come up. So it's being recorded live.
Oh. Hi, my name is Alicia. My daughter was made an example of at the LA Smoke Shop. She didn't purchase the product. However, a so-called friend purchased the product on December the 2nd at approximately 14:45. I got a call from her school December 3rd at 1:46 saying she gave someone a substance. I understand what you were saying where you say it starts from home. I don't do drugs. I don't drink. So from it starting from home, that's an understatement. I went to my daughter's school. I asked her where she got the substance from. She told me. I then went and asked her. I said, are you sure your friend went into this smoke shop? She went to the counter and she purchased this on her own. She told me yes. I went to the smoke shop December 3rd in between 1400 and 1500. The guy that's here, he's not here. The guy who spoke for LA Smokes, he's not here today. So I asked the guy, I said, hey, did you work here yesterday? He told me no, it was a heavyset Hispanic guy. I said, okay, you sell to minors? He says no. I said, do you card everybody that comes in here? He told me no. I looked up, I seen surveillance footage. I said, by all means, if I have to get a lawyer for my daughter to have this surveillance footage pulled, I would do just that. He went as far as to belittle me as a parent and told me, oh, your child shouldn't be in here. She's too young to be in here. I said, by all means, that's true. However, everybody that comes in your establishment should be carded. You should card everybody. As we can see, these business owners, they aren't black. We see that, right? We don't have any black owners in these establishments. They come into these underserved communities and they serve to our black children. But we can't do that in their communities. We can't have smoke shops and gas stations and things like that in their communities, but they do that to us because they want to see us stagnant. They don't want us to be better than them. But that has to change. I say what most people think. I am an active parent, and I'll do anything by any means for my children. I'm also a mandated reporter. If I see something, I'm going to say something. I lived in Maywood for most of my life, and I never had this happen to nobody in my family. I don't think that that's right, and I think your establishment should not be open. And I told that young, frail man that the establishment will be closed. And by the Almighty God, your establishment has been closed. See, a lot of kids don't have active parents in their life. Had they had active parents in their life, these things won't occur. But I'll make this my business that this doesn't happen, or nobody will make an example out of another child think that this has to stop. Where the grocery stores in Maywood, you have smoke shops, there are liquor stores, there are no grocery stores. But my thing is to you, you probably don't live in Cook County. Why can't you move your establishments to where you stay? Why can't you do that?
It might be cheap out here.
You won't. Because you want us to be at the bottom. You want us to be at the bottom. But if we were to stick together, we could elevate and get to the top. Thank you.
Well, the young lady said much of what I was thinking as well, and I applaud her for being brave enough to say it. So for those of you that have establishments here that have been ignoring the value of our children, what you need to understand is we do value our children, regardless of the circumstances and the environment and the challenges that face us. Our children are precious to us. Now, several of the establishments I've gone to, so what you need to understand is this: whether I have visited your establishment or not, I will be watching, and I will be getting the word out to those that I know that have children so they can be watching. We don't have to wear a uniform. We will protect our children. So you need to be on alert. From this day forward, this is what you're facing. I'm going to admit it, I'm going to confess. I'm a tobacco user. I've gone into establishments in various places. You can look at me. It's been a long time since I've been 21, and I've had them ask me for my ID. Did I get ticked off? Oh yeah, because you can look at me. I'm way over 21. But they have asked me for my ID, and they do have signs posted. So you can do it, and you can do it each and every time. So you need to be prepared to put whatever training, whatever signage, whatever monitoring you need to do just that. Now, as far as the village, this is what I have to say. I was a little perturbed when I learned that the establishment had been closed down just over the holiday weekend. My issue with the village commission and the village generally is, can we roll back on some of those fluff pieces we see in the newsletter? This kind of information should be part of what stakeholders have in that newsletter. The fact that certain establishments have been identified as selling tobacco to minors, have been closed temporarily. I looked at the newest newsletter.
The newest newsletter doesn't go
The
on.
newest newsletter that's online. It's online. It's in print.
There is no newsletter online.
Well, somebody pull it up.
There's flyers, but the newsletter goes out next week.
Thanks.
Specifically, the newsletter was going to go out last week, but we had to wait until the hearings and now the judgment took place so that we could put this in the newsletter. But there is no newsletter since November of 2025.
I stand corrected. That's not the point.
November.
The point is, we need to roll back on the happy, la. There's a lot of stuff going on in Maywood that citizens are not being informed about, and that's my primary statement. The second statement that I have to make has to do with the funds that have been received from these establishments that have made these violations. You spoke about the DARE program. The DARE program has been in schools for a long time. So this is,
Not a neighbor.
am I wrong?
There was.
Am I wrong?
There you go.
Has the DARE program, did they stop the DARE program? They stopped it.
So they stopped it. In our last meeting with these same folks, I had asked for it to be implemented again because I didn't want full blame on the business owners. I said, let's not put full blame on these business owners and also implement DARE programs yet again, because when I was growing up, I had a DARE program. Did I want to smoke cigarettes? No. Why? Because this DARE program told me that my lungs were going to be this black if I smoked cigarettes, right? So, I went ahead and I asked the mayor, can we start implementing those, things that's back into the school? And so, no.
I do recall, well, I worked in schools, and I do recall that the DARE program.
Oh, yeah.
It exists.
I was in the DARE program.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So my question to not only this board, but also the general board is, of the money that has been collected from fees, I would like to see something in somebody's reports and records as to how much of that money was designated for training and how much of it is going to be directed directly to benefit children, and who is administering those funds and how they're being administered. Thank you.
Would you like to be on the community advocacy council?
Absolutely.
Okay. Because that's what establishing the council is for, to like make sure that the funds are utilized the way they should.
All right, great. Thank you.
Good evening, and I'd just like to say she had all the questions that I wanted to know about the funding, because $16,000, that's a lot of money.
41.
41.
Okay, the total is 41?
Yes.
So where do I get that budget? Where is that?
So maybe you came in later?
I did.
Okay. So as just a quick reminder, focusing on using the $41,000 in fees is to activate the DARE program that years ago did exist, but does not exist today. There's 2 officers that will work with middle school, high school. There's 2 officers that will work with elementary. So the two of them go get training for 2 weeks outside of the state in February. 2 of them go in June. So by the time we get to fall, the program will be in full force at our elementary, middle school, and high school. So along with the DARE program, they also will, once they get that 2-week training, they also will have online curriculum that they can use with the youth. We'll also be having the Youth Advocacy Board, as well as the Community Advocacy Board, as well as working with a program called Catch My Breath that focuses on vaping and tobacco for 20 to 18-year-olds. Project Alert, which focuses on tobacco, alcohol, and marijuana use with middle school and junior high school and high school students. And then also working with Truth Initiative, which provides a bunch of different curricula that the officers will be able to showcase in the high school. So that's what the $41,000 will go to.
So that's going to be on the back page of the newsletter, right?
So we couldn't put out the newsletter last week because I wanted to make sure we had this meeting first to be able to put the results. So normally it would have went out last week, but there is no newsletter. Out of this, the newsletter was halted to make sure we had this meeting first.
So I am new to the Giants around here. I'm not new in Maywood. I've been here for quite a few years. I don't know how many commissioners, legal commissioners that you have. Am I saying it right? Okay, how many you have? What are their qualifications? And like you said, with the monies, you collected money last year?
No. So as a part of this, the Community Advocacy Board is a new thing that will get started based on the funds and how to utilize those funds and do different programming. So like even with that $41,000, we'll also go after different grant programming, county programming, state programming, behavioral health, mental health, positive health.
Thank God for Reverend Porter, because he did a lot as far as Maywood was concerned, and he deserved the type of service that he had Saturday, but there's a lot of opportunities for other people to get involved in the Maywood community. I would like to stay updated on what the budget for the committee is and how the commission works in total, because if people are smoking behind an establishment or children are going into an establishment, it should be somebody's responsibility during the week. I don't know how many hours that you all have. They should go in that establishment and see exactly what's going on. And you also mentioned about kids going to school high. I like to see that data also, which schools are allowing children to.
Okay.
I still would like to see that data. How you got that information. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Felicia Park. I just want to first say thank you, Mayor, and everyone is working with our community, so thank you. Just want you guys to know that. I appreciate all that you all are doing. I've been in Maywood for over 30 years. We own 7 properties. And then to say thank you to the owners that did come, you know, and kind of held themselves accountable. I appreciate that. However, I would hope to see that, I guess one of the questions that I was thinking when I was sitting here is that most of you all did come up here and you did state that there had been training. So if this is continuously happening, whether it was your first time or not, then I would think that that training that you've been, you know, so far giving your employees is probably not the most effective. So I would hope that, you know, you are looking at that training, and then for our village to hold you guys, you know, accountable, because again, the training is somewhat ineffective. You know, we know something isn't working, then we should work to